Alright, so today I wanted to make something very relaxing, very chill. I don't necessarily want to make anything crazy, just something cool. And what's the easiest way of doing that? In my opinion, pads. I realize I don't use pads too often, right? I'll usually just make them as like some kind of a background noise, or I'll just use blur, like pink blur. I've never really shown how to make pads properly, and I've also never really used them a lot in a video, so I thought that would have been a cool idea for this, and I also have a couple extra ideas for it as well. But I guess since you clicked on this video, I'll show you how to make something like this. So first, you're gonna need to make this long and dragged out and kind of fall off. I think I have in fact talked about this at some point, but I might as well mention it again, it wouldn't hurt. Then, the main thing with pads, right, is you want a lot of movement. So you can take something like this, or something like this, just anything in here, right? For example, spectral time, never mind, this one doesn't do anything. For example, this thing, add it in, make it move. That sounds weird, hold on. These ones are better. Right, you have that weird movement. Now we can make it wide. Both these, as a matter of fact. I'm gonna also make this one move as well, but just like nice and slow. Right, and then we can make these voices move as well, or the detune, my bad. And then I'm also gonna get this third saw wave, because this is a saw wave only once in a while, and make it kind of just rise up. Right, but now this sounds kind of gross, so we're gonna add a filter. It's gonna move as well, but this filter can do some cool stuff maybe. So for example, like fade in, go down, and then another one of these. Then we can also add some effects. Add a phaser also. I did not know you could move these. Add a flanger with like a lot of feedback. Reverb, and then chorus is really OP because you can actually use the hell out of this to make it sound even more like a pad. If you just like, can't remember how, I think it's these. Ow, that is incredibly loud. But yeah, you see what I mean now. That almost sounded like a Young Lean melody. You know what? That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, Young Lean type beat. Let's do it. I'm gonna take this right here. By the way, that was like the first sound that I made earlier. I don't like this chord progression, but I do like the key that it's in. So since it's a pad, I'm thinking I can do something like this, for example. Okay, I think maybe like one person would ever get this, but that sounds like Voices of the Void music, like ambience, like 1-to-1 actually. Take this other part, just take random parts that are just noise, but have some kind of an aspect to them. Export this. Share. Right, there's something there. It sounds kind of beautiful, just a little bit. Alright, let's see how much more beautiful we can make this little thing sound. I do have to say though, you know, just a nice pad, almost easier to work with and like plugs and stuff. Dude, not gonna lie, I did realizing now that I miss cooking up with Xenology, because like the only usable stuff in Xenology is EPs, bells, and then the pads. Strings are like sometimes alright. What else is like, I mean, slap basses, when are you really gonna use those? Unless you're making something very specific, in which case, any slap bass ever, as long as it's not complete ass, is gonna work. But like the pads in Xenology had, this very specific sort of vibe where they don't sound very high quality, but they sound kind of like just nice. Also, quick note, if you're ever working with something and it sounds like this, for one, just don't work with it, but for two, you can lower it down an octave so that it doesn't sound so like high pitched and hurts your ears. For this one, I want it to be not smooth at all, and I want it to be like these sharp things, because it sounds kind of nice with delay. And then, you know how these are like, I'll make these a little bit slower though, but these are like going up. So like the first one can have, regular width. Jesus Christ, I can't think. But the second one can sound cool. Like for example, right, this will eventually stop playing and I'll be able to talk. Anyways, reverb. I'm not gonna add this time, but I do like lasers a lot for pads. They make them sound, they add a lot of movement to it. And then there's just very, very slight compressor on like the highs. Just because nothing else really has highs in this. And I'm also going to add more attack to the main thing. I love that. Yes! Good. Okay, think about it, right? This one, make it unique, stretch pro, stretch pro plus 1200. This sounds beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna take notes from oh and add a lead to this that's going like wow. Hold on. Actually, I don't know how it's gonna go because I already forgot what the melody sounds like, but it's gonna sound really cool. But then to make it sound like significantly better in terms of, very cool slide notes, we're gonna do this cool move, and then we're gonna do this cool move, and then we're gonna do this cool move. All right. I feel like I'm elevating. I like how it has that little bit of offsetness from the fact that I played it on the keyboard and the mouse. I say we do something kind of cool with this. So I was thinking about this earlier, right? Convoller has that blur, right? But this blur is a little different, right? Rather than acting like a complete reverb, it sort of literally just reverbs the sound almost backwards and forwards. I don't really know how to explain it, but essentially it sounds like it has less of a very specific, melody playing inside of it, and it's just a blur. So like I can still hear those little tones from the lead and stuff, but they're not really gliding or anything. Whereas with Convoller, you would have been able to notice that melody. But I'm going to do ping blur over it again so that it removes all those very annoying high frequencies that I don't want. And then these sound kind of beautiful, so we can just take chops from random parts and throw them together. I'm going to do that, export it, layer it with this other thing. Yeah, so just like a wide, quick hitting pad. Probably use this for like a different genre, complete different genre, like Complextro, for example. But also, I think another cool thing that we could do with this is run it through that Spectral Gate plugin, which by the way is from this brand, Stepwise. It's all free. They have like a bunch of plugins and they're all cool. And I've been using them for like a month. I'm just saying that because somebody asked in like a couple of videos ago and I don't think I responded. And just get those grains that we could add some delay to and just throw throughout. I feel like this needs at least like 2 more pads layered with all this other stuff, and then like another lead that's just kind of quiet. I want to do that right now, actually. I want to add that lead first. I don't know like when it does that cool sound, but every once in a while it does it. This pad right here is really nice. I'm gonna make it very wide so that it kind of surrounds everything that I've already created here so far. And then I think if I play out just one note for long enough, it should make that cool sound. Nope, none of them sound that cool. Alright, whatever. Let's just finish this thing. I'm gonna take each of these and put them back together in their respective ways. Actually, I think instead of a pad, I'm just gonna add a Xenology piano or maybe a guitar. Just some kind of a noise in the background. That's a little bit more like stubby. Pretty cool little piano melody. See what we can flip that into on top of all this other stuff. Alright, now I'm going to take all these things and arrange them in some kind of manner. Alright, so this is the arrangement, right? It just kind of builds up. Both of these parts just kind of play around with the 2 portions of pads that we had, then the piano at the bottom, and then I just have 2 drops. This doesn't matter. I have 2 drops. This one is the one with the lead, and this one is the one with the piano. Kind of a chill arrangement. And then just for shits and giggles, I decided to this whole thing into a convoluter pad just to see what it sounds like. Yeah, see, with a convoluter pad, you can kind of hear those changes a little more in the leads and stuff. Actually, I want to make this first part even more chill. No piano, no this lead. I think some of these would work pretty well, the jazz. Alright, I'll just leave it at that for now. And that's going to be the first drop right here. there, the drums can just loop. They don't need to be too complicated or anything. I'm thinking the 808 is going to drown out quite a bit of it anyways, which let's go ahead and add that right now. I'm thinking I'm going to have more ideas tomorrow for what I can add to this. But as of right now, I feel a little drained. I feel like I spent most of my energy in this beat, specifically on the melody, but I honestly don't mind that at all. I'm gonna leave the task of making sure that these 808 notes are right for my future self tomorrow, because I'm not gonna lie, right now, I can't even hear them. Alright, so this is the finished product. I added some sound effects to it and stuff, and then I spent so fucking long trying to make the 808s work. And I believe I got them right, I think, because the thing is, right, since I'm using pads and since I'm using a bunch of blurry stuff, there isn't a specific chord progression that's happening, right? There's probably like 3 different chord progressions that this could be interpreted as, and that's a problem because the 808s just, they constantly sound off to me, but they don't sound out of key by any means, because if I go like this, you can definitely tell like what the pattern is supposed to be, and it also sounds nice. Like it has that, you know, the 808 has a nice tone to it, but it sounds weird in context with the drums and everything else. I don't know, maybe I'm just hearing it strange because it's my own creation and my brain doesn't like it. But besides that, I added some of these sound effects at the bottom here. This beat right here is less complicated than the last 2 beats from the last video, even though I'm pretty sure this one looks more complicated, mainly only because of all these freaking jazz cymbal things. But like the flow on it is like the most basic cloud rap kind of flow in terms of the hi-hats and stuff. This is pretty much just cloud rap, but kind of upgraded, I guess, in terms of sound effects. Definitely not mixing. The mixing on this is shit, but the idea is cool, and I'm still gonna upload it because I don't really mind this beat. I actually like it. It's pretty cool. Anyways.